Hi everyone, this is Sadaz, and this is the third episode of the Harshcast. Today we're looking at the first final from the 2v2 tournament conducted by NoDestiny, and the two teams are Nounit and PLF. With me today as my co-hosts are Madcow and MisterMaf. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing alright today, sir. How about yourself?
Doing excellent. And you, Madcow? Yeah, it's usual for Mark. Par for the course. Par for the course. Okay, let's take a look at the units. Let's take a look at what PLF has. I'm looking at some American infantry, a lot of American vehicles, a lot of M113 command vehicles. This is NATO versus NATO, which is kind of peculiar for some people.
Yes.
No,
lots of. Not. It's fine. It's perfectly normal.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not deviant in any way.
No, not really. No. There's one Centurion command vehicle and a couple of French.
Now that's just plain wrong.
No, no, that's a good unit. I like it. I like when I see armored command vehicles because they're just much better against artillery.
I agree. I think unarmored command vehicles are really more or less just free points to the enemy the second they see them.
Yeah. We got some French helicopters and some American anti-air choppers. And what are you gonna say, Maka?
I was going to say, I'm not an advocate for like the 5-bit unarmored jeeps. I personally like my command vehicles with double the health and at least all-round armor, but I do think that...
maybe they have a plan going here with those.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly valid, and it's just not something that I do, and it's I'm a little surprised that we keep seeing that throughout the games that we've been looking at lately.
Yeah, and it's what
especially here, if you look at no units, right? They have their armored command unit sitting in the back, and they're moving up the. Oh wait, excuse me. I'm looking at the. Carry on.
I was gonna say that. PLF.
I could have sworn I saw a jeep over here.
Yeah, PLF has a bunch of Humvees, which are really good because they are really fast. I mean, they travel what 110, 80 kilometers an hour off the road, and 150 on the road, so they can just get to a position really quickly and take it. The other thing I'll say about them is that unlike the games we saw before, none of them have leopards. None of them have any heavy tanks at all, which I find kind of surprising considering the last few games. But then again, this is a much larger map.
Excuse me. I see one leopard.
Oh yeah, no unit.
1, 2,
I think no unit has a leopard, but PLF has no leopard. You guys want to talk about Maka? You want to talk about what no unit has?
Well, no unit's playing a NATO opposing force, and I always love meeting some NATO versus NATO and pack versus pack games. I don't think they're strange at all, and I always roll my eyes when people go, I don't want to do that. Anyway, it looks like we got Warnhold. He's got some infantry and vehicles and infantry and Blackhawks, and I see a couple Gazelles and the other guys.
Really just a lot of light armor and no armor. Again, no tanks. The other guy's got a big helicopter start. He's got Gazelle. Was that Recon? No, it's not Recon. Just Gazelle light gun ships. He's got some Blackhawks with infantry in it. It's just two, right? It's mostly just Gazelles with autocannons. Yeah, and then some rolling any-air.
In total, they've got 4 Blackhawks. You gotta remember these Blackhawks in the first beta were just awesome. They've got twin miniguns, so they can do a lot of damage if given the opportunity. So you never want to underestimate Blackhawks.
Miniguns are not something to be laughed at.
You said you saw a Leopard 2.
50 cals on my Hueys.
Yeah, I do that as well.
Yes, it's on the PLF side, right at the top. Right in front of the Roland, you have to zoom in a little bit to unstack the name tags. If you have stacked name tags, there's one single Roland 2, and that might actually be the only tank on the entire field.
I think you're right. It is the only tank. It's a hell of a tank to take.
PLF is very infantry heavy.
This whole strategy of being really helicopter heavy makes sense because you look at how massive this map is. You just want to control territory, get some command vehicles out, and get some points. You're not really going to do much fighting at the start, I guess. If you see some flares,
especially if you're on the...
Yeah, I was going to say, if you see the flares, you can see where they've put down where they would like to defend and attack. And they've decided they're going to attack that narrow road between Foxtrot and Charlie. They're going to defend Echo and Golf. What you gonna say, Maf? Sorry, Mafa.
And
Sorry, I cut you off.
I was going to say that from the PLF side, in my experience, getting to Echo in the very beginning and holding it down can be a very difficult thing to do, which I imagine it's going to be Sikisaki. Excuse me for mispronouncing your name if I am. Uh, who's going to be going to Echo because he's got all of this helicopter-borne infantry right up here in the top left corner of India.
I think let's just call them Nounit and PLF, just make it easier. But I think if
I'm speak specifically Sikisaki from PLF.
I think that they're gonna take Echo because they seem to be closer, and I don't think Nounit has enough infantry to be able to take Echo. They got a lot of gunships, but not enough infantry to just land there. But they could be roughly definitely PLF is slightly closer, so they got an advantage there. But Blackhawks are very fast.
What I might imagine happening if those are the two meetups we're going to get, if we're going to get all those gazelles fighting off against all these transport helicopters in Echo, it might really be, unless he can get that infantry on the ground quickly, it might be a bit of a massacre shooting down all those helicopters. I've had that happen to me before. If you don't have enough backup for your helicopters coming in, which really it's all pretty much transports. There isn't really any escort for these helicopters at all. Although he does have these Stinger aircraft, but
yeah, Macca, you got any last comments
actually,
on
I take it back, those Stinger aircraft?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting either way.
Macca, you got any last comments for what you think their strategy is going to be so far on the start?
Well, I don't think that PLF has so much of an advantage of getting to Echo compared to Nounit. I do want to note that what you commented about before with European escalation and the Blackhawks, what made them really great in European escalation was the fact that I think they were twice the health of other transport helicopters, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They're not twice the health in this game, in Airland Battle, but they do have a minigun. So that's an interesting trade-off. It trades off a little bit of the health that you got in the previous incarnation of Wargame and gives you a minigun.
I really didn't know that. I didn't know that they had reduced the amount of health on them. I just assumed they were just as good as the ones in B.
No, I think they're only 6 health. I mean,
they're only 6 health.
Yeah,
versus 4 on the regular Huey.
Okay, guys, we're gonna unpause soon. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. 35, 34, 33, 52, 51. You guys good?
It's like
yeah, fail almost immediately. Let's.
We're at 47, 46, 45, 44, yes?
Yeah, we're all good.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So it looks like I might have been wrong. It looks like Sikisaki's actually moving his helicopters west instead of north to Echo.
Yeah, he might be wanting taking Foxtrot and that bridge, just to have those points maybe, and to secure hotel at the same time. And
We've got some Drakens coming out from PLF. Drakens coming out from both sides, actually.
Yeah, very popular.
These dummy rocket ones are hunting helicopters.
Got some hot Draken on Draken action going on.
And they're being shot at by the anti-air choppers, and the Draken goes down by an eagle. Draken goes down to an eagle.
Nice.
Yeah, they're definitely going for Foxtrot, heavy on Foxtrot. You got both the French and Blackhawks reaching
bit of a meeting engagement here. Eagle's going after the other Drake, and that's the thing that is going to be toast.
It's toast. The Draken's also doing tons of damage.
See, this is what I'm talking about, right? He's got to get those infantry from the pirates on the ground. Those gazelles are not going to be giving him a good time. Actually, the pirates actually have autocannons on them. Well, I did not notice that.
Yeah, they do have cannons. I think I have them in my deck.
And a Harrier coming out. They've both gotten to Echo at the same time with the French infantry and with the Blackhawks with the Delta Force. So I think the Delta Force would win, but there's tons more. There's more Jaegers and infantry and Fuchs. It all depends how it pans out. And the Gazelles are being shot at by anti-air units.
Yeah, but I think the Rolands and the Chaps are going to get their revenge.
Harrier's being shot at by the Draken, but Harrier's pulling off.
Oh,
a lot of very aggressive airplanes in this game, going really far into enemy territory.
A Leopard just got called out just now, I think. I didn't see it before.
No, in the center, at fight going on right now.
Yeah, there's Leopard, 2A4 from no
I
unit.
see that. Just one from each side, a 2A4. Although the PLF do have some some missiles, some kind. It's the oh, there it goes. It's the RBF-56 missile team. That's the Swedish one. They're 5 men.
Yeah,
They have
I love
very,
that.
very high armor pen and accuracy.
And if you
The
guys
only
see it
downside
Echo,
is
if you see it Echo, they're bringing
Yeah,
on a
yes.
Chieftain Mark
yes,
10.
here it goes.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna say I think the PLF are at a bit of a disadvantage here.
Yeah.
Even though they are being supplied currently, but they
Those
are not away
Fusiliers
close to
out
the
of
supply
cover
lines.
even are still...
Yeah.
Oh, here comes some artillery though.
Oh
no,
my
excuse me,
God!
that's,
Bombs.
Fighting Falcon bombs.
Those bombs just took out so many infantry.
Wow.
Wow. I was gonna
Those
say,
aren't
That could turn the tide.
bombs.
That could really turn the tide.
I was gonna
There's
say
more assault
before.
Well,
I was gonna say that in Echo,
Actually-
they were bringing on a lot of infantry, and I thought they were gonna kick their ass. PLF was gonna get their ass kicked by no unit, but that bomb really changed everything. They brought in some assault engineers, and Harriers are coming in to do
they do
the
have
same.
some assault engineers coming as well though. Harrier
And
goes down. Let's see if he gets
good
some
bomb.
kills for it. Yep.
Super
Kills off
retard
one
coming
unit.
out.
There's leopard.
Takes out
just
the leopard.
blows.
Does it?
Oh, the end turret kills it off for him.
Wow, a leopard
Actually,
down to a
the-
retard.
No unit has another leopard actually. So even though they lost that one, it's not gone yet. Infantry are going at it in Echo again. Assault engineers trying to move up, but it looks like those. Let's see if they get in range of the RBS 5016. Yes, they're toast.
If you see what's happening on the right hand side, Alpha and Golf, nothing much. They're just facing off against one another. Golf seems to be pretty secure, Alpha is not.
If I was oh wait, never mind. I'm used to playing this map on a 3v3.
Micah, what do you think is going to happen in the center here? Who do you think is winning? He's moving up his Leopard again, take some pot shots, and probably killing a good amount of infantry in these vehicles. They've lost the
There's a
Leopard.
Chieftain Mark 10 closing out from the north in addition to the one Leopard. But
Chieftain
there's
would
two
not be the
Leopard
first
2A4s
unit I would
up
say.
now.
There's 3 Leopard 2A4s actually in the center.
Wow, that's really fast.
Yeah,
They
there
just-
was the one that died for no units, but they had another one hiding in the forest, right? But PLF has also brought down their second, whereas no unit only has a chieftain in addition to that. Which I do like the chieftain.
Oh, man!
For the price, you get some very good frontal armor.
A Chieftain just took out a Leopard
What's going on
2A4.
Echo here?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised that he pulled on a
And the
Chieftain.
chieftain versus two 2A4s.
I was surprised he pulled on a Chieftain because they have such low fire rate. I thought he might pull on something that's higher fire rate and bring it closer, just so he gets that first shot off. But the Chieftain worked out well there. I think no unit has lost one Leopard 2, and PLF has lost one as well.
I mean, what you can do with the chieftain, which I think what he might have been trying to do there, is you move it within range, because the 2A4 outranges it by almost 200 meters. And for the chieftain, that actually is quite a bit because it only moves at 40 kilometers an hour off-road, plus the British tanks. But what he might have been trying to do is move it in range, take off a shot, and then move back out. And that's how you can kind of, I wouldn't say negate, but compensate for the low rate of fire of the chieftains. Because they do have, other than the rate of fire, a very good gun and very good frontal armor.
Hey guys,
for only 65 points.
two
so
planes
it's
just got taken out over Gulf. Do you happen to see what planes they were?
I
They
did
were
not.
Drakens.
They were Drakens, okay.
I think there were 2 Drakens, and there was a 3rd plane, which was I forgot what it was, but that's right.
Those Hevardsmen are dropping like flies over there.
Yep.
I mean, the Fusiliers are going to go down, of course, but there's more assault engineers moving in from the north, and they're really taking a lot of damage from those Delta Force.
Can I do a
but
quick time
everything's
sync,
down.
guys? I just want to see what time I'm at. 23, 22, 21, 20. How about you?
I'm at 13, 12, 11, 10. I'll slow down my game
All
a
good.
bit.
All good. No, it's
Let me know
I
when you
split up.
get to
I decided to reduce the volume a little bit, just sound effects.
2, 1, 0, 59, 58.
Yep, all good.
Well, we're getting a nice little assault engineers assault over in
Yep.
Echo. they're going to eat
I would
those,
have moved them in just a little bit closer with those. Well, actually no, those are just M35 Jeeps.
Yeah, they're gonna get blown up.
There's also
Something.
Harpoon supporting
Yeah.
them.
I usually like to put, especially something like Assault Engineers, where you have to get them in close. Oh, Fighting Falcon, Fighting Falcon.
Yeah. How do you guys
Really
feel
do
about the
anything?
Harpoon? I'm personally not much of a fan. I don't notice what it did.
Which unit you're not a
I
fan
didn't
of?
see it deliver a payload. The Harpoon.
The Harpoon, AMX-13. Putting some missiles on the Chieftain, it looks like. But
I think on paper it looks like a great unit for
I
the
don't know.
price, and I think it looks like a fantastic unit. And when you just look at it, it's just so crazy. But I've never had much
but
success.
I mean, honestly, for 20 points, great. And 2 frontal armor, cool. But I mean, none of the. It seems like it has a whole lot of nothing. It has a lot of variety of weapons, but none of them are really good enough to do much of anything.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Only 7 accuracy.
Yeah,
Only
that's
7
not-
accuracy
not
and 16 AP.
Yeah,
The gun.
It's not going to do damage to the front armor of a chieftain. Mark
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, it's okay.
On the right-hand side,
Which is why
Alouette
he's
is moving
it back.
across the water.
Chieftain's gonna make short work of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's an Alouette moving on the right-hand side across the water, just to make sure that whole position is locked down, so you don't see any kind of like sneaky Delta Force or planes moving in the rear. And he's bringing another Alouette out just to ensure that he controls all these positions. And I think they're gonna lock down the map, so all the fighting is gonna be on the front. There's not gonna be any flanking going on. But you do see in that forest a lot of Marines and Jaegers moving through. They've completely bypassed that main force. Not that it exists anymore because they're almost all dead. And they're going to control both that whole forest area next to
Right.
Echo and Echo itself.
And some RBS 56 teams have come up. He's taken advantage. He's wasted no time, and now he's cleaned out those Delta Force. There's only one man left in the one last squad. It is hidden, but those Marines are going to find it soon and make short work of it. So he didn't waste any time of getting those good Swedish missile teams up. Unfortunately for them, the Chieftain was able to make it out before he could get a hit. But that is going to be a pretty big barricade for any more tanks that try to move up.
I think no unit...
And they've got all those Marines spotting.
Yeah, I think no unit's just decided, you know what, we don't want to hold Echo as much as you do. We're happy to let it go in exchange for just a better position, which is why they're pulling back. If you've also noticed, they brought on PLF has brought on 4 artillery pieces, 4 American artillery pieces. I think 2 of them might be British, 2 of them American. And I'm not really sure
Indeed
what they're
they are.
firing at.
Is there any difference between those 2 units besides the nationality?
There are probably slight differences, but nothing significant enough. So Madcow, what would you do?
The same.
I want to know, what would you do in this position, where it's just the whole map is locked down, there's not really any positions to move around. Where would you push?
Well, definitely I would try to get some recon up to get the lay of the land, because there's no point of dedicating anything if you can't see it. And right now, I think NATO can only see...
Draken's intercepting that recon helicopter on the right. Sorry to interrupt, but the Alouette on the right is going to go down.
And I also want to point out to people who don't know
I
that
guess
the Draken has these air-to-air rockets that are pretty good against units that are stationary, but of course planes aren't stationary, so they're kind of like little mini flak cannons.
I have some decent success shooting down other airplanes with the dummy rockets, but it's definitely much more effective against helicopters, especially if you bring them in pairs. As you can see, that Alouette only has 2 hit points left after 1 run. They're a little bit hit and miss, because they are obviously dumbfire, but the random numbers can be a little bit extreme. And there is an F-15 Eagle coming to save the day on that Alouette. We'll see if it is able to bring it down. It does not. Not getting his money out of that Draken right now.
Bring an Eagle now just to finish off the job, maybe? No, Eagle's pulling back. So
No,
Madcow,
I think he was going to intercept the other Eagle.
I want to go back to Madcow, to
right
what
now
you were saying.
I was going to say that I'd want to get some recon out and try to mortar a weak spot, or try to take out something, cause some sort of deficiency on their side. Maybe get rid of some of those Rolands, though there are more Rolands in the back behind him. Maybe get yourself a little bit of a alleyway to get a corridor to get your air units through.
Yeah. And right now they're artillery and just took out a Roland in the center between Hotel and between Charlie and Echo. What I would say I would do in this situation is I wouldn't actually attack the center because they can. You can just if I was PLF and I was attacking no unit, I wouldn't attack the center because they can just respawn and spawn so easily. I'd really go for something like Alpha or Delta because they can't send
Looks like we're going
reinforcements
to
that
have
easily.
an infantry engagement on the mountain over here.
Yeah, a lot of assault engineers being brought out, Fusiliers. I've never used assault engineers actually.
They're good. I like them.
They're good if you can get them in, but they are exclusively close range.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
If we look at the command
These
vehicles,
Aliquots on the right are just staring angrily at each other.
if you look at the total command vehicles,
Well,
But,
as long as they have their,
I was gonna say
as long as they have their
PLF.
ammo, they do a lot of good burst damage.
Yeah, I was gonna say PLF have 1, 2, 3, 4 command vehicles, and no unit has 1, 2, 3, 4. They've taken exactly the same positions as each other, and they haven't bothered to take Echo or Foxtrot.
What I would do if I were in you right now, and he's been doing a little bit with these Aliquots, right? They each actually have one. It's one from each team, one on the right, one on the left. The one to the west, I would like to see move up a little bit more, because if they see that there's really nothing to the west of Juliet, there's like there's some Stinger teams in Juliet, right? But there's 4 with enough, because let's be honest right now, I mean, Stinger's maybe the best anti-air that NATO has, but if you bring enough, there's just not going to be able to shoot down much. You need 2 to take down 1 target in most cases. What I'd like to see them do is maybe bring in a bomber or so, soften up that city, and I would like them to bring some helicopter-mounted infantry over that over the water on the left, because there's really not much there, and they would see that if they brought up that Aliquot. Although there is a Draken going for that one as well.
And an Eagle and a Tomcat are
Also,
coming out.
if
2
you
Tomcats.
capture-
2 Tomcats out. I'm not really sure where they're going.
If you,
Go ahead.
Not much going
Sorry.
on right now except for the air engagements.
Mecca, go ahead. Sorry.
no worries. If you can clear out the no unit guys in the upper part of Foxtrot, get some anti-tank guided missile guys in those buildings, keep line of sight, you could do some damage on that spawn.
No unit has also brought out 2 British artillery pieces of their own. Not really sure if this is supposed to counter the artillery that PLF brought out, but or just to make some dents of their own. But the game has really slowed down. They've each locked down their side of the map. It's pretty much 50-50, I would say. But the points show that PLF is in the lead right now by a pretty good lead.
Pretty. What's the word?
Solid lead. You know, it's not
Solid, that's a good word.
it's not overwhelming, but it's a pretty solid lead right about now. More Rolands coming out. I think they saw the Tomcats perhaps, and they just want to get something out just to ensure that if those Tomcats come
Leopard
out.
coming up on the right. One Leopard 2A4 coming up on the right from NU. There's a PLF 2A4 in the forest there that was just encountered by the Jaegers.
Yeah.
The assault engineers are going to get smashed right now from this
MSV?
Varsman.
Yeah.
For any Scandinavian viewers watching right now, please forgive me for butchering any Scandinavian words.
Yeah, whichever language it is, we have no idea. That Leopard was actually stunned.
I'm a
one
fan of
from
the
PLF.
units, I just can't pronounce them.
Yeah. I don't use much of the Scandinavian units. I should. I use some of their special forces, but I do like that Scandinavian tank. Mecca, what is the one that it looks like a tank destroyer? It's from Sweden.
Those are Swedish. The BVRB 103C and the 104, some such. They have a very, I believe the highest rate of fire of any tank in the game. It's like 12 or so rounds per minute. They
Yeah.
fire very, very quickly. Other than that, though, they're fairly average, and they can't fire on the move.
They got pretty decent armor for their price. It's usually
For the
choice
price, yeah.
between them and a chieftain. Okay, they're starting to make a move, I think, no unit, because if you see the converging on
Yep.
that forest with leopards, Rolands.
I don't think they realize how much is Well, maybe they do. They've been probing around a bit. They've encountered both of these infantry units from Monkey King. They know
Seahawk
there's
out.
a leopard in there because they did encounter that.
2 Seahawks out, one goes down.
I'm not.
And a Seahawk hits the front armor of a Leopard 2, does 4 points of damage.
He's pulling that back. He's got a Jupiter coming on now to so that'll. I'm sure it's to rearm the Chaparral actually. That is out of ammo now, but he's got some Rolands coming on to easily close that gap. And the Jaegers have found the Leopard 2A4, and
Featuring its side armor.
2A4 is moving up to engage, although, actually, look at the health on Werner's 2A4 right now. It's walking wounded a little bit.
Yeah, that Leopard's taking a lot of damage. He just got the
Both
kill
of
on the
them are,
Jaeger.
actually. Monkey King's 2A4 is actually in some pretty solid damage right now, while Werner's is
They need to pull back. What do you guys think about the heavies Madcow? Do you prefer the Leopard, or do you prefer the Challenger, or do you prefer the Abrams? I prefer the Leopard myself.
Oh, I prefer.
Until you get to the 2A4, I really personally think the Abrams is a bit of a better value. In my company, I have the M1, the M1A1, and then the 2A4 to bring out some real muscle when some T80s come on the field.
Man, those RBS did a number on that Leopard 2 moving up. It took a lot of damage from that ATGM.
But all of the Leopard 2A4s, actually some more 2A4s coming out from NU, but all of the Leopard 2A4s until right now, where they're getting fixed up, have been really hurt. Some infantry action going on in the middle here. I'd bring those LAAD Stingers back if I were Monkey King. They're about to get smashed by those assault engineers.
I just want to ask you guys, in this
in the
situation, do you think rocket artillery would be better because they're so clumped up in that valley?
Maybe. Honestly, for Pact I use Danas, and for NATO I use Bcans. That's the Swedish one, BKAN1A or such. And I have 4 of them. Both of them have a very high rate of fire and decent accuracy and pretty good damage, and they'll just saturate an area. If there's infantry and it's not in a town, it will just destroy and annihilate all of that. You do of course need corrected shot in order to do that, so you would have some real danger close, but I personally I'm not a giant fan of rocket artillery, because I mean ballistic, or not, I mean the regular tube artillery will still cause some pretty severe morale damage. What do you think, Madcow?
I don't find myself a fan of rocket arty. I mean, it's really there only done to cause you know, a unit to be pinned so that you can take it out with something else. If you're going to do that, I'd say follow it up with regular main gun arty, or you know, a gun on the ground while it's still stunned. But I personally, I don't use rocket arty myself.
Look at those three. Look at those 3 Leopards so close to each other. Oh, they just moved apart now, but they were so close. I would have loved to have seen like a Nighthawk or something. Just obliterate them.
Unfortunately, we have all multinational armies, so you won't be seeing any Nighthawks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm quite a fan of having dedicated national decks, because I think it's a lot of fun and it gives this game a lot of flavor. But I guess in a tournament setting, you might as well just take the best that you can get, and you weigh up the costs of the experimental units and the nation-specific units.
Yeah, I think those assault engineers are going to do some missions mountain in the middle of the map.
Yeah, because those Hivars men are stunned right now and panicked. Those assault engineers are really going to do a lot of damage to them. Yeah. Bam! There goes one, right in one hit.
No, they're all about the burst damage. You know, it's all about the alpha strike.
See, and I run multinational decks. If I had just one more activation point, I'd definitely put some assault engineers in.
I tell you what, I'm looking at PLF. They keep artillerying the anti-air of NoUnit, and they are really knocking out a lot of, consistently knocking out Chaparrals and Rolands.
Is that the anti-air northeast of Charlie? Or where are they putting it down?
It's to the right of Foxtrot. My perspective is from the point of view PLF, and that Leopard's moving out, and 2 other Leopards coming to greet him. Not to mention this.
1 health.
I'm actually quite impressed by these RBS. I don't use them,
from NU.
but they're doing quite well. He's, I think they're
Did you
5
see
now?
that leopard go down?
2 Seahawks coming out, they're gonna get
Yeah,
fucked.
the RBS-56, in my opinion, are easily the best anti-tank in the game. The one and only downside is that they have the same range as the T-80. So if they're going against a T-80, you have to have something else to preoccupy it. Otherwise, even if it's a T-80U, it will kill them in 2 hits. And they're very accurate. There is nothing in the game that can survive more than 2 hits from those things.
Are you guys seeing this? 3 leopards from PLF are moving up against the leopards from NU out in the open. The artillery's been knocking out...
There's 3 leopards, not 2.
Yeah, there's 3
Here come 3
leopards.
super retard.
There's actually 4 leopards from NU,
coming,
and they're pulling back now. They've lost a leopard.
Where goes 1, there goes 2.
2
leopards
retards!
are down.
Oh, that was an
Those
excellent
Antenards
move.
Are gonna...
Excellent
was it
move.
worth it? How much did the Antenards cost?
I think less than a leopard 2, definitely.
They cost 80 points, so they definitely came out positive from that.
And the
I'm
worst
looking
thing
at this
was...
one right now from the left, they only cost 80 points. What was that?
I was also going to say, PLF earlier, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but they also, while this battle had just started, brought out 2 Sea Kings. Both of them got knocked out. Seahawks, and that was not worth it. Dropping Smoke, I think, for the Assault Engineers. Smoke's a good choice. I don't see people enough, we keep saying it in the tournament, but not enough people are using Smoke. And artillery consistently
Whenever I
hitting the
see an
anti-air.
enemy use it, that just reminds me of how little I use it. What good would the smoke right there be? Anyway, it's not like the assault engineers are going to come out in the open.
I don't think it's the point of, it's not, I thought it might have been for the assault engineers, but I see the smoke as simply a way to close the distance against a entrenched enemy that is in cover.
In general, sure, but I mean in this specific situation, it's not really doing anything there. No one's really taking advantage of it to move around from the blocked line of sight. No one's really moving in.
I think Nounit just put that down in order to just break it up and sort of distract them. Maybe even just like a full attack.
Yeah, maybe it was a little bit of a bluff.
Yeah.
A little bit of psyops there, huh?
This entire match, though, has just become around this small valley. I would really like to see these players try to attack Alpha, or try to land infantry at Delta.
I mean, they each have a ton of units in their backfield. They don't want anything sneaking up on them. All that anti-air in the back.
It's just insane the amount of anti-air. I do want to note that the tables have turned slightly now. No units slightly in the lead.
Indeed they are, but only by less than 100 points.
I'll say this as well. There's quite actually it's on the right hand side. Maybe I can see the argument if enough anti-air, but on the left hand side, if you skirted the border, you would only have to deal with 2 stingers. That's it.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted that recon unit to poke up there and see that and move in from over there.
Yeah.
And now NU has actually just put down an attack beacon on Foxtrot. I'm hoping for the sake of something happening that they're planning to perhaps try to cross the bridge.
Yeah. And 2 challenges just got called out. 3 challenges.
Playing that well.
3 challenges have been called out.
Maybe he's just saying your chaparral's in.
4 challenges. Wow. They've been saving up points.
Where is that coming out?
It's coming out of hotel. 4 challenges just got called out.
God, I can't even see. I have the European escalation tags, so all the things are covered up.
I think they might be realizing better to have challenges, better to have that better front armor, because it's just become such a World War I style trenched game. And Abrams being called out. A lot more tanks.
Yeah, and Abrams has come as well.
Not sure what their plan is.
Lots of heavy armor.
And another Abrams, so 2 Abrams.
PLF has spotted that anti-air over there. It looks like they're going to hit that with some artillery. Looks like the Challengers are going left and the Abrams are going right. It looks to me like all they're really doing right now with those tanks, since they're splitting them up, is they just want to solidify the lock in their position. This is really just ground to a stalemate right now.
Yeah, and both
just
sides
trading blows with artillery, picking off an infantry unit here and there. You know, maybe an airplane. Although I really think the airplanes are going to be shut down now with all the anti-air everywhere.
Both sides have 4 artillery pieces right now. No unit has 4 British artillery pieces. If you see the some Leopards and the Abrams and the Challengers are moving on Echo, which makes me think they might be trying to push through Echo at the artillery that's in that's skirting the corner of Charlie and Alpha. All they have protecting there is just an Abrams, 2 Abrams, and I think Challengers could easily beat that. Bit of a soft target.
And they do, indeed they do. You know, and there's an opportunity to take the. Well, no, there's the chieftain there too. Which, I mean, it's not exactly made of paper mache. Those Fusiliers might do some ambushing on those Leopards, but I have a feeling they're not going to move up that far.
They're engaging the chieftain and it's down. Fusiliers are there. Fusiliers might actually stun them.
I take it back. Or they might just get gunned down by the machine guns. Oh, no, looks like the shots might be going out. They only have M72s though, which aren't going to do much of anything against those Leopards. Really all
side armor, retard comes out.
Kind of jots.
Takes out a
Did it
leopard.
kill anything?
Yeah, it killed a leopard. Some good side shots.
Yeah,
with
those
these,
Fusiliers are toast now though.
Yeah, and the Challengers are coming in now. Abrams pulling back. Another retard is coming out.
They need to get those tanks in some cover.
And it does. The retard does heavy damage to the Challenger. Heavy damage.
But it doesn't kill it.
It
Doesn't kill it, and it goes down itself.
I think it was a front shot, but just imagine
They're bringing
that.
on.
It could have been a top shot, depending on the direction. I'm not sure if they can get a top armor shot.
All that's really done though is it's besides costing them fuel, all it's done is kind of taking them out of the action temporarily. But during this stalemate, ooh, these Fusiliers doing no, they're routed.
Yeah, I thought they might have done good damage to the Abrams.
But the point is they lost an 80-point aircraft, and again, it's this point. Yes, every single kill is going to matter, but for each of those missile aircraft they lose, it's because you only get so many, and those right now are their main.
He finished off the Challenger heavy arty.
Nice.
The one that was heavily damaged.
Oh, and check out that one Abrams from Monkey King. It's routed and it's only got 1 bar of health, and some artillery's stunned the Roland as well. Some Roland 2s coming up though, and the Jupiters have arrived to fix up the Challenger.
They're using the French Roland. I think it's a 40-point Roland, 45-point Roland. I kind of prefer the German one a little bit. I guess they just go for a larger number of French Rolands as opposed to a smaller number of more accurate German ones.
The German one is the Roland 2, and the French one, the French I believe have a Roland 2 as well. It's just a prototype unit.
Yeah, I prefer the German one, but that's usually because I play West Germany.
I have the
They didn't destroy the Challenger that I thought they had destroyed. It made its way in the back and must have been some other unit.
PLF has broken out the Seed aircraft now. I just saw a Raven fly by. I didn't see if it killed anything, but it is worth noting that is on the field now.
Yeah, I saw that, and it escaped without
Here comes
scratch.
some Eagles as well, going to the right to intercept that into node, and some F-14s coming out to intercept the Eagles.
Tomcat and an Eagle versus 1 Eagle. That Eagle's gonna escape. They're really being careful with their planes. They're not. Did the Eagle go down? Yes, it did.
They need to be.
The Eagle went down. That was some long-range shots.
That's what they're for. F-14s are air superiority. They have very, very long-range missiles.
2 of them together are very deadly. They'll finish anything off.
And they're firing artillery at that Challenger.
I guess these players are really just putting all of their focus into the infantry on this mountain and little tank skirmishes around Echo.
Which I think is a shame.
And,
they really should try going for Alpha.
But
they really should try going for Alpha or Delta, something like that. Just try to change up the game, force the enemy to reposition. Because the longer you take, the more time they have to just build up all over the place. And then it becomes a stalemate.
I mean, Going for Alpha, though, that's the side where, I mean, let me take a look at the other side, right? But that's the side where they have all of their tanks, whereas on the left, there's really, aside from this TGB-13, which is going to have another RBS-56 team in it, although it is still packed up. That's actually been there for a really long time. But, and I'd like to point out, actually, we're coming down to 7 minutes now.
I actually see no.
But,
I don't see any tanks on the right-hand side at Alpha.
Are you sure? No, not at Alpha, but in order to get there, they'd have to cross past all those Abrams.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm sure there's going to be a leopard somewhere. Yeah, those leopards by the by those Jupiters, and the Chieftain is up there again. So even if they're not going to be running headfirst into it, arguably even worse, they're going to be running right by a bunch of tanks and take shots to the side and rear.
I really would like to see them.
I think we're seeing.
No, Mike, I was just about to say. I think the score reflects the fact that it's just one-on-one frontline engagements, and nobody's trying to flank. No one's trying to get around each other. You gonna say?
It really is one-on-one too, because look at the points for each individual players. It's mostly, as it looks like, Monkey versus Werner, or one player's beating up on the other on each side, because each player on each team has roughly the same number of points to correspond to the player on the other team. And as it is now, what is it going to end in a draw in a tournament game? Is that possible, or is it just going to end up?
No, there's 3 games.
Well,
So this is the first one. This is the first game. Yeah.
Well then, I mean, I can't see this being anything other than a draw.
What I find interesting about this whole situation is that just like the other semifinals we saw, if they're going to be so heavy on this using artillery, why don't they get more artillery, and why don't they get a fob?
Exactly. Exactly, I agree 100%. And the second I saw them bring out those 4, the two British and 2 American howitzers, I was just thinking that's not gonna do a single damn thing. And speaking of, there's actually some artillery coming down on them now. But like the M11-0A2, right? And they had the 2 American ones and the 2 British ones. Those are the super heavy howitzers.
Just so you guys know,
I mean.
Sorry to interrupt, but 2 challenges, 2 Abrams, and a Leopard 2A4 are moving up to. Maybe they think the game's about to end soon, so we need to get some points. 2 retards also came out earlier. They both got shot down.
They're trying to.
For taking out 1 Abrams.
Some last points they can before the game ends.
Yeah, 2 retards, and now 3 retards are coming out. 3 retards coming out. 2 of them came out earlier from PLF, and they both got taken down for killing 1 Abrams.
Oh, they all miss. Actually, no, one. No, oh, an Abrams goes down.
And another
Abrams goes down.
That's good. And the Leopard goes down.
Did any of the fighters go down? There goes one.
Oh, that was totally worth it, though. The Seahawk helped take out a Leopard. So Absolutely. 1 Leopard down, 2 Abrams down, and the points have changed again. PLF has it.
Which at this point in the game, that much of a lead is, I wouldn't say comfortable, but it's definitely something to feel good about. Because coming down to 4 minutes and 30 seconds, the NU is really going to have to do something to make up those points. Again, though, I mean, clear this up for me. Is this going, with this close of points, is this able to end in a draw? Is there some setting that can
Madcow is more
make it one win or the other?
Madcow knows about these rules better than I do. What would you say?
Oh, I wasn't following. Are you talking about what happens with the draw?
Yeah. What happens with the draw?
Well, I think the draw is whoever has the most points is still the winner.
What, as far as like the tournament is concerned, even though the game recognizes it? Okay. Another infantry engagement going on in the middle.
Another tank engagement, 2 challenges
honestly,
versus...
it looks like...
2 Abrams.
Challenges, there's... How many Abrams over there? 4...
2 of them are firing. That challenger goes down!
7, 8 Abrams over there.
Holy crap, and a Leopard too!
On the left, and there's a 2A4. Oh, they're going to get some nice points from this. They just need to commit right now.
This is a huge engagement.
There's no weapons teams over there or anything.
So many Abrams, my God.
Why didn't they do this sooner? Why didn't they do this sooner if they had the points for this? I mean, come on.
Well, so many Abrams.
There's another Abrams. Violence that happens after a game where they trade blows, and the only difference between the pattern I've been seeing lately with these
NU is actually
games,
taking the lead now. NU is taking the lead, so I take it back. 100 points here or there at this point actually doesn't mean a whole lot. It can go either way.
Yeah, this is slightly different because both teams are roughly equal. You know, there's not one player that's sort of stuck with having to do something now or lose the game because of just a few points.
And Mecca, what you and I noticed was that, they would just save up points, get a bunch of tanks, and near the end try to make a push. That was really annoying and
Yep.
not conducive to good play. It's really boring, honestly. It's really boring to watch them play like this. I really would like to see them flank and maneuver and try to do things, because I don't know what this is. I've always believed that Wargame was more interesting than StarCraft, because it was about flanking and trying to get kills and trying to do stuff. But from this perspective, it seems almost like it's almost become more like an RTS, because you're just building up forces and at the end trying to do something.
Not even an RTS. It's
Yeah.
just there's no strategy
Tower
there.
defense.
Because
Nice.
I mean, yes, this is a tactics game, but you have to have. That's a good one. But in a game like this, even though there's no base building and macro and all that stuff, although there is a little bit, but you still have to have some kind of overall plan that you want to do. And I don't think, at the very least, it's not very interesting. But their plan right now, it seems like both teams. It seemed like what they wanted to do was take over Echo and figure out what to do from there. I'm not really sure. I'm not them, but their strategy from both teams seems to be very conservative. Which I mean, it's the first match of 3. I guess that's what you want to do. You want to see what the other team looks like, what kind of stuff they're going to do when you go up against them. But
Yeah, and Abrams just
I
got
really don't
taken
think
out by
there's neither
Seahawk.
any strategy nor tactics going on.
Yeah, and Abrams just got taken out by Seahawk. What I just want to comment on is that even at the start, they didn't really push a lot. And at the start, they didn't really try to flank when they had the opportunity, because there would have been a lot less units on the
They
field.
just tossed units into Echo.
They pretty much just spawned out of
Really?
out of hotels, spawned out of Charlie, and met each other in that valley, in that really limited bottleneck between the forest and that river, and it was just the end of it.
Neither one tried to ever at any point get the other.
Wow, a lot of planes coming out. Dragons, Falcon
not even at the
Fightings,
beginning.
Eagles, a lot of planes, 2 Tomcats.
Whoa! Tomcats coming to intercept. They're gonna
They're
go down.
screwed.
There's too many Eagles. Oh, evac. Never mind.
Okay.
No, those
Orgy
Eagles.
of
Actually,
violence.
the PLF Eagles might go down now.
It was a question of timing. Those other Eagles came out
Yeah,
at the
but-
right time.
Yeah, my feeling is that when it comes to air battles, like who comes on second has an advantage.
I agree.
Because I think
Exactly.
usually who comes on first is
And-
locked onto somebody else.
NU has
then
won
the
this, by the way, guys. It's over.
Yeah.
NU has won this.
You know what,
So
Mecca?
there's your first game.
I wanted to say this, Mecca. I think it's a good idea to call out Drakons first and then call on Eagles later. And sort of like the first engagement, they waste their missiles on the Drakons, and then your Eagles come out, and that would have been most effective. And I think that's kind of what they did.
Yep. You're going to lure out their interceptors with your cheap Drakons, and then you're going to bring out your interceptors to intercept their interceptors. And when I see a big line of planes coming like that, I think what you want to do is come around and target the one in the back, which will allow your interceptors behind them and allow you to take out that whole line of airplanes without any of their missiles coming at you. Either way, I imagine they're and again, these are players who are much better than me, but it seems like their idea right now of tactical stuff is mostly air battles. That's the most interesting thing we saw going on. And at the end there, you could tell from, I believe it was PLF, right, that they knew that they needed to get some points in. So what did they do? They didn't do any tanks. They sent in a whole big raid of airplanes to try to pick off something or other. And as you can see, it didn't really pay off.
Well, I just wanted to say thanks for joining us today. I think I would rate this game about maybe a 4, maybe a 5 out of 10. Not really that interesting, and I think mainly that air battle at the end really got me more engaged, and perhaps that's what pushed me above. Mecca, how was it for you? How would you rate it?
Actually, I'm not judging it as harshly as that. I actually thought it was a pretty decent game. It's the unfortunate consequence, I think, of the game mode. I don't blame the players. I blame the fact that it's a tournament setting and that people want to win, and you're going to get some conservative play, and you're going to get that pretty much gameplay of trying to get ahead, so that at the end the other player is forced to move against you
to
and
do
just
something.
squash him. Yeah, because if you can build a thick enough front, muster enough firepower, anything that they throw at you, you're going to be at an advantage if you have better recon and you're stationary, especially when, if you got missiles involved. Though there weren't a lot of missiles in this game aside from the infantry anti-tank guided missiles. I'm rambling a little bit here. I guess I'm trying to squeeze in all the talking I didn't do throughout the game. But it wasn't a bad game. I really enjoyed it. I thought that at least the air battles were entertaining. You didn't see planes come on and be immediately evac'd. I think that when the action that we saw was not timid. When they didn't fight necessarily in drips and drabs. There were some really concerted efforts. They used infantry where infantry was best in the middle of the map on that gigantic area of just nothing but infantry cover. They traded blows. They countered each other. It was very give and take and very even. And at the end, it's like, shit, nobody's ahead of each other. What the hell are we going to do now? And you came on top.
Yeah,
I do
you know
imagine
what?
if this. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, the gameplay style, a lot of Seahawks, a lot of retards, not retards, but super retards. It's pretty much just like sniping. They're constantly trying to snipe each other's heavy tanks, and that was the only sort of flavor there was apart from the main battle tanks, because that sort of engagement of main battle tanks in the front at one-on-one level comes down to a question of numbers and statistics. Who has the better front armor? Who has the better rate of fire? Who has the better accuracy? It's not about flanking. It's just about one-on-one front armor engagements. And that's my final comment. How about you,
That's why
Matt?
we saw a lot
Moth?
of Brums and Leopards.
Yeah.
Well, I think if we'd... I don't know. I think if we'd looked a little bit more at the infantry battles in the middle, I think what happened with us right now is that it just kind of got... We just kind of got a little bit complacent with the infantry battles in the middle. We just kind of accepted that there's stuff going back and forth. We didn't really pay attention to it. I think that's where most of their effort was going into, was the little give and take in there was basically just a miniature game within the whole entire larger scale of the game going on with the infantry in that mountain. I think that's where most of the tactical stuff was going into.
Well,
but I do agree. It was
yeah.
mostly just numbers with jets and armor piercing and frontal armor and cannons, with sniping the tanks and that such thing. The whole overall
the overall tactics were just around that. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I wanted to thank you for joining me. You viewers can expect the rest of the tournaments in the not too distant future. And by future, I mean next week. Thanks very much. This is Sadao's. Peace out.